24 hours for the latest. What is going on now, Vicki? Good morning.
Good morning, Paula. Just minutes ago, we had some movement from inside the compound. There was a banner that was unfurled from one of the upper windows. We believe that banner reads, "We want our phone fixed." That may refer to something that happened early this morning, about 5:30 Central Time. Negotiators called into the compound. They told the person who answered the phone, "We are going to start gassing you if you don't come out." There was no movement. Apparently, negotiators say that person hung up the phone. At this point, seeing the banner, we don't know if that means the person hung up or if perhaps there is some trouble with the phone lines. What happened then was about a half hour later, just before first light, a tank moved very close to the compound and in fact knocked a gaping hole into the wall of the compound. Shortly after that, another tank moved in. That tank moved around to another side and pulled down what seemed to be an entire section of the wall. Not long after that, another tank pulled up. The back of the tank opened up. 3 federal agents got out and threw what appeared to be gas canisters inside of the compound. We saw some white smoke come billowing out after that. So apparently on this 51st day, federal agents' patience is running quite thin.
Vicki, I know that you've asked federal agents about what type of gas they're using, and they won't confirm it for you, but it appears as though it is very windy there. Do you have, or anybody have, any way of knowing if this gas is really sort of seeping into the building or underneath it?
Sources had told me that the gas was going to be shot into the building, in through the windows. I imagine that these very, very high winds has caused them to have a change of plans such that they had to get very close and actually toss it in. What they have preferred to do the entire time as they were cleaning debris out, as they were getting the few people who have come out of the compound, what they have done is bring the tanks up, and they have used the tanks to shield them. They have stayed quite far back. But today they have actually gotten the closest we've ever seen them to the compound.
If in fact there is this underground network with, I guess, which federal agents have in fact confirmed underneath this housing, what do you suppose is the strategy behind
Paula, we understand that a tank has just gone through the front door of the compound, just gone through the front door right now. Yesterday, the tanks came along and they pushed all the old cars out of the front. They took away all the debris. There was a small wall in front of the front door. They knocked that wall down, and now just seconds ago they have actually knocked down the front door. Now, to get back to your question about the underground tanker, we have understood all the way through that cult members were using some sort of underground, kind of a basement. They were using that for target practice. So I think what federal agents are afraid of is that once they were threatened with the gas going in, that cult members may have gone down underneath.
We've just seen a very dramatic shot of one of those tanks that has some rigging that just rammed into the front of the building that you were just describing. I wanted you to sort of backtrack back to February 28th when, in fact, there were 4 federal agents killed. The AFT at that time was criticized very, very harshly. What do you think the risks are this time around for these federal agents?
Federal agents have held off this long because they are told that there are still 17 children inside, and they have been extremely concerned about those children. They said they have been asked, 21 children have come out. There were 38 children in. The first day you went in, you knew there were 38 children. Now there are 17. Why have you been so careful this whole time? What they thought at the very beginning, they say, is that they could isolate the children and the women. When they first went in, they would go in and find the weapons and find the men and not harm any of the women and children. Once they found out that they had such a huge weapons cache, and once they suffered such heavy losses, they have decided to really pull back. I really don't know what the plan is now with the 17 children who are still inside.
One last quick question. What do your sources tell you about food supplies in the compound?
Paula, we have heard all sorts of reports. We have heard they have food up to 2 years, a 2-year supply. We have been told that they have MREs, the military meals ready to eat. We have talked to some store owners who say that they would regularly come in and spend $6,000 or $7,000 a month on food, and also go to food co-ops and buy several $100s worth of food. Don't know exactly how much they have in there, but it's quite a supply.
Vicki Mabry, thank you very much for the update. It is about 7:15.